Don't do it to me, Danny. Don't do it. We have had a bank holiday weekend where Sheffield Wednesday stay up, and we can enjoy that positivity because coming round to Tuesday and the managerial merry-go-round has already begun. There's been cryptic posts and there's also been a sacking of a prominent manager, which has stirred Sheffield Wednesday's fan base into a little bit of a worry. A little bit of PTSD setting in from the previous summers of managers leaving. And, oh God, he's staying. So Hull City have sacked their manager. Quite a surprise, probably quite unjust. I saw quite a few of their fans were unhappy underneath it. It's one of those decisions where you think, why would they do that unless they had someone lined up? And then to add the fuel on the fire, Dom Howson says, he quotes something from the Hull Daily Mail. He quotes a piece on there saying how their owner of Hull City is an admirer of Danny Röhl. Everyone's an admirer of Danny Röhl. This is where you insert a joke about how you're an admirer of some sort of attractive person, but they're never going to get with you. This is where you would usually put one of those jokes. But the worrying thing is, Danny has put a cryptic message out on Instagram, and I'm really hoping it's the language barrier. So I'm going to read you this post. It goes, on the 4th of May 2024, we were able to make the impossible possible. After more than 6 months full of passion, commitment and togetherness, we were able to achieve our goal. Unbelievable, but true. I would like to thank my coaches, my staff, my players, and above all, our massive fans for your support. We could only achieve this together. At this point, many thanks to our chairman, who gave me the opportunity and the trust to make me a manager. This season will remain unforgettable for me forever and shows what belief, attitude, positive spirit, and plan can achieve. Thank you. Right. It's not goodbye, Danny. It's not goodbye. At this point. What does at this point mean? Is it? At this point, I'd like to say thanks to our... That's not what it said. At this point, comma. At this point, many thanks to our chairman. Please, for the love of God, that's not... Oh, well, we'll see what happens when I talk to him after I come back off my holiday and we try and plan what's coming next. I think it would just be, at this point of this post, I would like to thank our chairman. And then he's phrased it like that. But if you wanted to be really, going through all the files, getting a magnifying glass out, you could infer that at this point many ways possible, which is what has been happening in the opening hour on the last hour on Twitter. It's been interesting from a Wednesday fan perspective. Hull finished 7th, just outside of the championship. Danny Röhl performed a miracle in keeping Sheffield Wednesday up. Let's look at this logistically, realistically, right? The Hull owner might be an admirer of Danny. There might be money on the table. There might be a project. Danny probably backs himself to do well there. But if you look at the two situations, he's now had a year to bed in a club. It's his first managerial position, which wouldn't make sense really for his reputation if he jumped at the first opportunity, even if Hull did come from it. And it might not be Hull. There's lots of admirers in Danny Röhl. That's the whole point of this. After what he's done this season, he's been immense. I mean, to all the people who are admirers, he's been terrible and you should not pay attention to him because he's a one-season fluke. Yeah, please. But in all seriousness, Hull City finished 7th outside of the championship, in the championship outside of the playoffs, which sort of says to Danny Röhl, right, well, you've got to get to the top in your first season with Hull City or you're out the door. And I don't think that's an attractive situation. I think a lot, and I said this in my video a couple of days ago and on the podcast, it's going to be a situation where it takes the importance of the conversations he has with Chansiri when they all come back and they make those plans going forward. That's crucial. That is more than crucial. Alex Miller of The Star was reporting today that initial talks have seemed positive, but more substantial talks are going to happen after Danny Röhl's back from holiday. And I think this is where we can't let this happen again. I think the reason we're all sort of overreacting, and I want to know if you in the comments if you guys are sort of on that boat of going, oh, it's going to get... Either way, it's going to be a summer of us all going, please stay. He's staying, right? He's not gone, right? And then when we least expect it, that's when it'll hit us. No, it won't. We can't let it happen again. That's why Chansiri has got to say, whatever you want, I'll give it to you. in terms of realistic expectations, but I'm going to give you the backing to achieve the expectations. If I want playoffs, I'm going to have to give you the squad that you think would get us into the playoffs. If I want to be up there, that's what I've got to do. Otherwise, I can't set unrealistic expectations and expect Danny to do it on a shoestring. I don't think Danny will overspend, to be fair. He's shown that he can do a lot with a little, which is a great trait in a manager. And he's got the belief in the squad. The retain list isn't out yet. There's going to be an overhaul of the squad in that way anyway. Danny Röhl will have been able to work out who he wants in this squad going forward and who he's going to build it around with the additions. We're actually in a state where we should be able to get slightly excited as Wednesday fans again, because we're entering the market with a fresh perspective and a manager who is loved by the fan base, and it's an exciting project. And I just look at it all stood up and I go, please, man, don't make the decision that could cost you your future career. Because if Danny Röhl, for example, has a couple of bad moves, I don't think he would, to be honest. I think he'd be successful wherever he went. But it's such a gamble. And that's why I have got a bit of confidence that this won't happen. Hull or anybody else coming in or thinking about coming in for him, it makes more sense for him to have another season at Wednesday. Even if if it's not the best season and he's got admirers elsewhere and he's not feeling fully backed by Chancery at the end of the season, that's when I could see something rumbling and happening. But he's just performed a miracle. There's all those emotions going round after staying up in the way that we did. And he's got to build on that. He's got to give himself the opportunity to build on that. He's got his coaches there. He's built a club identity. And I think my gut's telling me he won't go, but I was blindsided by Darren Moore leaving. You never know what's going to happen in those conversations with Chancery. Steve Bruce, you could sniff that coming a mile off, to be fair, when it started happening. But that was the first thing that happened, wasn't it? Steve Bruce got a whiff of Newcastle. We sort of heard the things and we were like, is he, isn't he? And then he was off. I don't think that'll happen in this situation. But a lot of the future of Sheffield Wednesday is going to come from those conversations Danny Röhl has with Chancery. So what do you think, guys? Let me know in the comments. Hull City, just an interest. Will it become more than an interest? Do you think inquiries will be made? Other clubs coming in for him? Are you worried about that? Or do you think it's going to be one of those situations where if Chancery gets the conversation right, will he get the conversation right? And will Danny Röhl stay at Sheffield Wednesday? My thoughts would be yes. It's going to be one of those summers by the looks of it again. But that is the end of this video. Let me know what you think below. Thank you for all the support on this closed season as we have been wrapping things up with podcasts and videos. And until the next time, guys, please like, subscribe, do all those things, and keep watching right here on Dexterity Box.